We've got a big one for you guys today. We're taking a load of our vehicles out of our museum and taking them to one of the largest militaria shows in the United Kingdom. And as you can imagine, the logistics behind this is absolutely insane. It is a huge amount of work that goes into it. So to also celebrate us hitting 100,000 subscribers, we've made this into quite a long feature-length episode. So grab some popcorn and make sure you stay to the very end because there is something very cool. We're also trialling some new sound equipment which makes these vehicles sound absolutely beautiful. So if you've got headphones, I recommend putting them on.
Right, first vehicle to load is the Humvee. So we'll get in her, fire her up, touch wood. Not sure if she's gone on the front of the lorry or the back of it yet, the front of the truck or the back. So got to get her down there and get her loaded. And remember how to start it.
Remember the wait light.
Wait light. Have to wait for that to go out. That's why it says wait.
Now we do end up going to quite a few of these militaria shows every single year, but this one is one of the ones that's just on our doorstep. It's Operation Market Harbour, and this year it seems like it was going to be fantastic. They had over 25 main battle tanks. We're going to be taking a few of the bigger vehicles, but of course we also want to take some of the smaller vehicles that we've got part of our collection, so that's why we're going to be taking the Humvee.
He's just going to stretch his truck, stretch his trailer, then we're going to put the tank on first. So, stretch his trailer, tank on first. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to put it back in again. We're going to try and put the Humvee on first, ideally, just up these bits of wood. It's off-road, it should climb a couple of bits of wood, all right, so we'll find out in a minute.
The initial plan was we were going to put the Stuart on the front, we was going to stretch the trailer, then we'll put the Humvee behind it. But Stuart just had an idea. He reckons you probably can get the Humvee up onto the neck of the lorry, so we'll see, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't slide off the edge. Where are you putting it on to? Here, right, start. Start forwards. Start it still that way. 55. Is that okay where you want it? Or? Yeah, ready to roll. drive it forwards on. We're going to turn around this corner, reverse it back, and then hopefully get it on. and give it time to warm up. Now you might be looking at this part of the video and you're wondering what on earth is that bloke doing stood in front? And it's a thing that we call banking. Now yes, you may be thinking, well that's not how we used to do it back in the day, but with banking, as long as both the driver and the person doing the hand signals understands each other, there is no real set way of doing it. As you can imagine, Alex and Stuart have been working for many years, so every little hand signal, they pretty much know exactly what each other means. Now the person inside of the Stuart, you can imagine there's not much visibility for them to see at all. They can pretty much see straight forward because of how far the driver's seat sits down below. And because of that, unless you're going forwards, you need somebody in front helping you reverse, and especially when it comes to loading. You can imagine you can't see behind you, it could be anything there could be a small child running past, there could be a wall there or anything. You need that person in front just for that good health and safety. And when it comes to the logistics and the loading of these vehicles, it's one of the major things that we end up doing. You always got to have a few people with eyes around. If you just have one person getting it on the back of the lorry, although 9 times out of 10 it will be fine, all it takes is that one chance for it to mess up. The Westland Scout is an airworthy vehicle, which is obviously why we're flying it to the show today, but you can imagine there's a lot more time and effort goes into this one. Because it's a flying vehicle, there's a huge amount of checks that have to be done. If you don't, it's not going to end up very well when you're 1,000 feet in the air. It takes quite a while for him to warm up the vehicle, get it all started. Obviously we have to get it out of the shed as well, and then he flies off. And as you can see with this one, the amount of dust he kicked up was absolutely insane. And I tell you, I was videoing it, I got absolutely caked. One of the great things about this show is just the number of tanks that they have. I believe this year they had over 25 mainline battle tanks at this show, which is absolutely insane. You can sort of see there's only about half of them just here as we're flying over now.
Yeah, receiving, just taking Stu's stuff down to offload. How's David been, alright?
Yes, I'm alright, mate, thank you.
Are you filming, are you?
A little bit, yeah, don't worry.
Put my hands on my steering wheel and
Hopefully that's the last of the rain.
Let me guess, my job's to go inside. Where are you parking them?
Well, we said we're going to leave. We'll put the M3a1 next to the helicopter.
I was just thinking,
Hello.
it'd probably be quite good to have M60 in this next together.
Yeah, well, this is going to go. Got M16 next to the helicopter. Dave knows roughly where to put it.
Yeah. Is that our space thing there?
Yeah, and then the back corner. We'll put the Humvee around that corner there.
Yeah. Well, out that
And then
corner.
that sort of gives us a
Four corners.
square, and then we can move stuff around afterwards.
Yeah.
The
This one won't want to move. We'll just make sure they've got to have plenty of room for the M60 between the helicopter
and
and
this.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're ready. Right, second load of today. We're going to get the Bradley on first because it's heavier. And when I say Bradley, it's definitely a Bradley, not a 432 that's made to look very badly like a Bradley, but you know. And then once done that, get the Humber pig on as well.
3, 2, 1.
All the way.
So you ratchet strap him to the back. It'll be fine.
Yep, fine. Only charge £20 an hour extra for damage.
The reason why we have to ratchet strap the back door is because originally, when this was used in the film Warfare, they had a whole big hydraulic system to make the door go up and down, which cost them, I believe, 50 grand. So we weren't allowed to keep that, annoyingly. We are eventually going to sort something out to make it a little bit neater, but for the time being, this is sort of the best we can do. Usually in the museum, it's left open anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But obviously, when you take it to shows, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So the issue we're having at the minute is we're not 100% sure, but we're not sure if the Humber pig's actually going to fit on the back. We'll see, they're just measuring it up now.
What did I say, 13 or 12? That's 13.
I thought you said 16.
16, do I?
I'm sure you said 16.
That's, in that case, it's definitely not enough.
Right. How
So
much,
it needs to come back a bit.
how much do you need? How much you got there in a minute?
That's 13 now.
13, right, so it's about 3. So if it just comes back a couple of foot and I'll train you out.
Okay.
Just say when you're comfortable with the gap, I can always move these out of the way.
Yeah.
I'll pull it out. If it's too much, say. We're going up onto the net.
No. We'll extend the trailer.
Which is handy,
Do
really.
you want to just say that to the camera?
He's going to extend the trailer. No, what he's going to do is he's going to extend the trailer a little bit, as you'll see, because we've not quite got enough length for it. Definitely got it. on it, isn't it? So it's taking the pressure.
Oh yeah, it's just.
I think it'll be alright.
I'm going to change it back this way anyway, so we ain't going to go back.
You can see here it's taken us quite a long time to get this vehicle on the back of the lorry. It's always going to be the same. There might be a little bit of shunting backwards and forwards because you've got to make sure the weight is distributed across the lorry. So although you might think, oh, it's only a 5-minute job, drive it on, get it strapped on and get it off, it usually can take about an hour or so for the lorry to get here, drop it back down, get the chains out, get you loaded, chain it all up. So although it may only seem like, oh, we'll get all the vehicles there in a few hours, it usually does end up taking a good chunk of the day.
Hold on.
So well, it's now time to get the Humber pig on the back of it, now that we've been able to move the 432 forwards a bit by extending the neck of the lorry. So yeah, luckily we did a load of driving in this the other day, so I'm back up to scratch on it, so we'll give it a go. It does take a little while to get the vehicles loaded up onto the back of the lorry. As you can imagine, especially with the lorry driver, he wants to get you perfectly placed, mainly because of the weight distribution. You can't be overhanging the side too much, so it does take a little bit of shunting backwards and forwards to make sure you're in the right place. And this is a big part of what people always forget about the logistics about going to these shows. You might think, oh, it's very easy, you just get the vehicle out of the shed, drive it up onto the lorry, and that's it. But 9 times out of 10, it does take a lot longer. From silly things, from like, ratcheting, strapping it down, to actually getting the lorry driving over there, it does take a long time. One of the big things for the lorry is it can't go the same way as we go to the showground. It ends up having to go right around along the major roads. So a journey that takes us about 20 minutes ends up taking the lorry driver about an hour to an hour and a half, which greatly adds on to the day. You can imagine it takes us hours to get all these vehicles over there.
You know what that means, don't you? That means it's time for a coffee.
So obviously now the Cold War part of the museum is looking quite bare, so we took the helicopter out and the Bradley. So we're going to chuck a couple of 4.3s in there, I think a 4.32 and the 4.34, just to make it look a bit nicer, because although we're off playing this weekend at Operation Market Harbour, the actual museum and the military vehicle driving that we still do, that's still happening. So yeah, because we are obviously a museum, if you didn't know. So we need to fill it or else people will be a bit annoyed it's empty. So let's get some vehicles in.
You'll do there, mate, I think. I think.
Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this sort of longer form video, and obviously we've gone into a lot of detail about how the logistics about going to these military shows actually works. Make sure you subscribe down below, because next week we've got a really interesting one, because we do end up taking our M60 to the show as well.